thank you for your public service. And I look forward to working with you going forward to improve our public safety and homeland security. I've been going through the process of finding a police chief that will make this city safer. A public servant, but someone with experience. Someone, quite frankly, and let me tell you quickly the process. You've got to remember, I've chaired criminal justice for the last 30 years. All I did in the state capitol, in hearings and in my office, were meet law enforcement officers and experts across the city and across the nation. So when I saw that we needed a police chief with all the credentials that we can depend on, I talked to chiefs around the state, talked to legislators, talked to some local council members, and it kept taking me back to Noe Diaz. And Noe Diaz and I have known each other and worked together for 20 years. Very familiar with him. He was assigned to Houston as a ranger when we first started visiting about the needs of this great city. I've noticed that he has such a working knowledge of every community and our needs, how we do more with less, because we all know we're understaffed. I was excited when he got his opportunity in Katy. So the key to what I was looking for is someone that's familiar with Houston, and I thought it was important at this period in time to go outside the department. Someone that knows the department from having worked with them on task force, narcotics, intelligence, operations, very familiar. And I talked to local law enforcement in the department, HPD, with employee groups, HPOU, with the Sheriff Fagan in Fort Bend, our constables. They kept saying, Noe Diaz is the real deal, a crime fighter. And that's what I'm looking for, someone that is a no-nonsense crime fighter with experience. 23 years in law enforcement, 11 as a Texas Ranger. The Rangers are the best investigative body in the world. So when I approached Diaz about the opportunity to be chief for the city of Houston, he was so knowledgeable. He had a vision and a plan, no nonsense, improving technology, improving recruiting. So I'm totally convinced with these appointments this morning, we're going to have the best criminal justice crime-fighting team in the nation. My grandsons live here. Everyone that can hear my voice lives here. I know that Houstonians are concerned about their public safety. I know that they're not going to certain events. Seniors come up to me at Yale Street Farm and say, Senator, before I became mayor, you've got to do something. We don't leave the house after 5 o'clock. It's the reason I got in the mayor's race. I was recruited by Houstonians to do something about their concern about public safety. People are moving to the suburbs. It's becoming an economic issue. It's my highest priority. We're going to solve that. We're going to do recruiting. We're going to do the collaboration. Chief Diaz was in our first meetings dealing with collaboration with 80+ agencies in the Houston area, how we collaborated. So he's not going to miss a beat. I trust him. I have confidence in him. And I want Houstonians to know we will have, and I will be held accountable for the safest big city in the nation. We can do it. No nonsense. I don't have patience. Let's get it done, because I want people, I want to feel free to go to the Kroger store at night on West Gray. Huge parking lot. I used to go there on Sunday evening, stock up for the week. No. Galleria. Families are concerned. and it's impacting our economy. Greens Point locked its door. I can remember when it was a vibrant mall. It's closed because of concern for crime. So all I can say today is it's an exciting day with the team that I've put in place. And I want to thank Chief Diaz for his public service for so many years. And ladies and gentlemen, I think the best is in front of us for HPD. We're not going to tolerate bad practices. Noe Diaz knows how I feel about transparency. He's actually worked in public corruption as a ranger, narcotics, and the whole field. His collaboration with other agencies could not be better, starting with the state of Texas. The sheriff, Adrian Garcia, said when I was sheriff, I depended on Noe Diaz to help me solve crimes across Houston. So let me yield at this time, but I'm excited because during the campaign, I said, I'm giving myself and these directors and chiefs 6 months to show the public what can we do better. This is part of that commitment. It's been a commitment of mine since I took office, and I look forward to working with the City Council to approve these appointments, and also we will find the resources. We will find the resources to fund additional officers, technology, and to do a fine job. Let me yield to Chief Diaz at this time.
Good morning, everybody. Not a lot more than I can say. Larry did a phenomenal job. I want to thank him personally. I'm going to lean on him a lot. I want to thank the great mayor for giving me this opportunity. Transitioning into this position, I really believed in his vision because I've been in Houston a long time. At every part of my police development, be it a trooper, a narcotic agent, ranger, the Houston Police Department has always been someone that's shared information, that's been willing to share their knowledge. I'm only here because of the men and women of the Houston Police Department, because of their grace, their professionalism, through a lot of different things, through different storms. I was with the state for a long time, but I truly believe in the mayor. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. This is a very vibrant city. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about the crime rate or anything like that, but I think that this city should be the pinnacle of where people come to visit. We have a lot of great events. You mentioned FIFA coming, so those are really important events to us. This community has been vibrant, great to us, great to our families. So I'm very, very excited. My vision is to just basically get back to being a servant leader, working collaboratively with all the other agencies. I've already have those existing partnerships with every agency, every constable, every police chief, every sheriff, with the FBI, with the DEA. You guys read my bio. I still have a top secret clearance at the Bureau, and I'm very proud of that. But I also want to recognize some people here in the room. Councilmember Julian, thank you for always helping. 30 years as a prosecutor before in the past, so I want to recognize you and everybody else, the HPOU staff that's in here. Thank you for putting me through this process. The media partners, I'm going to lean on y'all because I'm about the truth, like the mayor says, right? So I want to work with you to make sure that our citizens and our neighbors and our friends get the right information, because you need to know. If I need cars, I'm going to ask for cars. If I need men and women, we're going to ask for them, right? So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what I envision for the department. I guess I'm grateful. The mayor is very, very focused on the public safety, and so am I. So I thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes.
Chief Diaz, Kevin knows back here.
You want to go ahead and...
Okay, sure. For our Spanish-speaking audience, mi estimada colega Daisy, good to see you. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you for always being so kind. Para mí es un orgullo estar aquí hoy en esta ciudad que me ha dado tanto a mi familia, a mi personal. Le agradezco la oportunidad al alcalde John Whitmire, una persona noble, sencilla, que tiene la visión de nosotros poder mover juntos la comunidad. nuestros vecinos. Estamos aquí para ayudarles. Quiero que tengan acceso al Departamento de Policía de Houston. Quiero que tengan confianza de la policía, que vamos a trabajar para toda la gente en la comunidad a cualquier hora. Les quiero dar las muy sinceras gracias otra vez al alcalde por su visión y me da mucho orgullo estar aquí y voy a poder contar con ustedes para nosotros mandar el mensaje correcto a al pueblo para poder avanzar juntos como una comunidad. Muchas gracias.
Very good.
Kevin Nosbeck from ABC
Hi, Kevin.
13. Chief, sources at HPD who worked alongside you applaud you. They call you a phenomenal cop, phenomenal investigator, exceptional guy. But we're hearing that there are some concerns that you're coming from a department of just 91 people and about to lead one of 6,091. To those men and women in uniform at HPD who are rooting for you but worried there's going to be a huge learning curve here with such a huge department, what do you want to say to those officers?
Kevin, that is a great question. You know, it's not something that I take lightly. It's very basic. It's about servant leadership. Whether you have 5 people at your job, at your company, or you have 6,200, right? Treating people with respect, with dignity, giving people the autonomy to do good, because there's only one good, right? There's only one right. There's not variations of it. So for me, that's my answer. Is that this is for the men and women of the Houston Police Department, to include the civilian staff that are never actually applauded, our dispatchers and things like that. They're so important. The fleet maintenance people that are picking up the patrol cars, driving the wreckers, they're so important to this community. They're part of the tapestry of this office, of the Houston Police Department. So as far to answer your question, I answer it with that I'm a servant leader. I think of you first before myself. So I hope that answers your
And
question.
the buck stops with me.
Right.
The buck stops with me.
Did you look at that as a consideration, Mayor?
I looked at all the facets. I looked at experience, collaboration. You know, yes, he's in Katy. That was a stopping off point, and they do nothing but sing praise out there. But I've talked to HPD officers, and they've worked with him on task force across this city, and they respect him and want to work for him. So he will have a command staff. Chief Satterwhite is not going very far. Homeland Security plays a very vital role. We're actually together today to show what a smooth transition is taking place. So Noe's patrolled the streets. He's worked with other command staff. So no, I consider it experience, accountability, integrity. Can't do any better than this gentleman. And he's not afraid to ask for advice and counsel. And I'm not going anywhere. And we will definitely be held accountable by the public. I'm excited. I thought it was tough for me to leave Austin because of what I get done in criminal justice. We're going to be speaking. The new chief, I've told him, let's talk about part of our problems on the street is repeat felons. Murderers and capital murderers on bond. It's unheard of in my 30-year career. We're not going to be afraid to speak out that our officers, rank and file, put their lives on the line, do a great job, take them over there and get them charged, and within 24 hours, murderers, repeat violent offenders are released. If we don't solve that, we'll continue to have a serious problem. So it's a multitude of qualifications and commitment that the chief brings. Not necessarily a numerical number, but it's leadership and vision and a model can-do attitude. You know, he will work with the current command staff. He'll find his own individuals. And it's all going to be about get it done. And we're not going to be drugged through a mess that I inherited that shook people's confidence. 260,000 cases that were not suspension, that were never examined. Those days are over. This is a fresh start. That's what I really want you to take away from here today. A fresh start at HPD. Respect the rank and file and make certain that they're protected, but their hard work shows the results we're looking for.
Before we take any additional questions, that you wanted to have Anna, I believe, Mayor, make additional comments in Spanish?
Sure.
Thank you.
Chief Díaz, ¿podría comentarnos un poco en referencia si tiene un mensaje para aquellas personas que tal vez no han creído?
Daisy, she has a statement to make first.
Let her
Daisy, Anna's going to speak first. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. En breve vamos a nada más hacer un resumen acerca de lo que han dicho el alcalde y los dos jefes detrás de mí. El alcalde John Whitmire abrió con las buenas noticias de que Chevron estará moviendo sus oficinas principales a nuestra ciudad. Esto es una buena noticia porque va a traer muchos trabajos y oportunidades para muchos de los que viven aquí en Houston y a los alrededores. Ahora el tema de la prensa de conferencia, el alcalde John Whitmire enfatizó su prioridad siempre ha sido seguridad pública y con eso anunció a los dos cambios en nuestro liderazgo de la ciudad. Estamos muy familiarizados con el jefe Satterwhite, que ha actuado como nuestro jefe de policía en los últimos meses. El jefe Satterwhite ha dedicado más de 34 años al departamento de policía y es conocido por su fuerte liderazgo y en tiempos difíciles, incluyendo eventos como la tragedia en Astroworld y claro, este último huracán. Tenemos el orgullo de anunciar que ahora el jefe Satterwhite va a ser el director de la oficina del alcalde de Seguridad Pública y Seguridad Nacional. Esta es la posición que el jefe Satterwhite había pedido desde el primer día de esta administración. Su pedido fue pospuesto, pero no negado, y tenemos la confianza absoluta que el jefe Satterwhite continuará sirviendo la ciudad en Houston con la misma dedicación, esfuerzo que ha demostrado a lo largo de su carrera. El alcalde Whitmire también nos presentó a el que ahora será el nuevo jefe de policía de Houston, Noe Diaz, como nuestro el que va ahora a hacer la transición con el jefe Satterwhite. Tiene una gran experiencia que comenzó en el año 1986. Ha servido como oficial de patrulla, ha trabajado en la división de narcóticos, Texas Rangers, y más recientemente como jefe de policía en la ciudad de Katy. Al jefe Díaz se le va a asignar la tarea de continuar restaurando la confianza pública en el departamento, continuar mejorando la moral de nuestros oficiales y reclutar nuevos miembros. Tiene títulos avanzados en criminología, justicia penal y ha completado la capacitación en la Academia Nacional del FBI. El alcalde Whitmire tiene la confianza completa que el jefe Díaz será una gran adición a nuestra ciudad y nuestro departamento. El jefe Satterwhite nuevamente estará ayudando en la transición y la pregunta que recibimos acerca del cambio en el tamaño de departamentos, eso no tiene nada que ver en esta transición porque lo que importa y que lo que el alcalde vio en el jefe Díaz fueron sus características de liderazgo. Y un buen líder se puede desenvolver independientemente del tamaño del departamento. Entonces, con eso, ahora sí abrimos a preguntas.
Okay, questions.
Jefe Díaz, una pregunta. Aida Rivera de Telemundo. Sabemos que estará tomando las riendas de este departamento en medio de una controversia. Son más de 260,000 casos que anteriormente la policía de Houston catalogó como suspendidos. ¿Cómo va a liderar usted este departamento mientras está llevando a cabo esta investigación?
Voy a esperar que el proceso se acabe, pero le quiero decir a la comunidad que tengan confianza, no nomás en mí, pero en todas las personas que trabajan con el departamento de policía. La confianza no se ha perdido, fue un error, lo han admitido. Nosotros vamos a hacer todo posible, todos nuestros esfuerzos para asegurar que no pase de vuelta. Todavía está en el proceso, no te puedo comentar porque ha pasado antes de que yo entrara hoy, pero ten la confianza que va a ser lo principio que voy a hacer para poder prevenir que pase otra vez algo así una tragedia así. You want me to say it in English? Okay, thank you, Mario. Great last name, by the way. No relation. No relation. But
I do like the name.
her question for us was about the suspended files, and I told her that I wasn't going to comment. I was going to let the process work out. I think Chief Satterwhite has done a phenomenal job. I mean, he's a sage here at the office, and he will continue to do that. But the process happened. You guys have read the report. I'm going to let the process continue to work through it. I know the mayor's assembled a fine group of people to look at it, and no one here is going to hide anything. We're going to own it. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen again, and that may require staffing changes. That may require changes in the way we do our report writing, and just granular police work right there. That's where that's not happening, but it's going to require staffing. I'm not going to tell you different. Staffing is low, but I know this mayor is ready to commit. City Council's also indicated that they're ready to commit to higher staffing. I want to thank Councilmember Ramirez for adding that extra training academy. So those are big steps. I mean, it is a great resource. This is a phenomenal city with a fantastic police department. So for the citizens, I'd ask that you trust in us, let us do our jobs, let us serve you in every capacity, and we'll get through this suspended file appropriately, and we'll make decisions after it's all shaken out.
Chief, first and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And Chief Satterwhite, congratulations on your ascension. What do you view as the department's greatest strength and what attracted you? And what do you view as the greatest area for opportunity? Not a challenge, but the greatest area of opportunity for you?
We're in the economic engine of the state. Simply said, this is a very well-funded police department. We're going to ask for more funding. We have some talented people, so parents that are at home watching this, if you have a 19 or 20-year-old child in your home that's needing a job, please contact the Houston Police Department. We need you. We want to pull from people here. We have a very diverse community, and I want the police department to reflect it, right? I want that police department to grow. They put the resources together. It's going to be our job, our responsibility to make sure that we fill it. So for me, that's the opportunity. We're in a great spot. We're in a great place with some phenomenal people, some phenomenal young people, and just residents that really care about the police department.
I haven't heard a chief in recent times say
Last
exactly
question, and the mayor will wrap up.
Okay.
No, Mayor, you're fine.
Okay,
there was
thank you.
You said a comment that I haven't heard from other chiefs. You actually said, hey, I want to recruit young kids here.
Absolutely.
I want to bring people in from Houston. If you're watching this right now.
Absolutely, we need them. I mean, this is our home, and who better to fill the ranks than the young people that we have in our community. We have some fabulous universities here in town. We have great high schools. We need to pull from the group of kids, these great kids, into our ranks. I mean, the talent is here. So I haven't discussed it with Chief Satterwhite. I don't need to go to Tampa, Florida on a recruiting trip when I have the staff here and the talent here, and the focus will be on hiring people that live here, that are vested here, that their parents are here, to make the community just better.
So to follow up on that,
I want to also mention it's important. I'm talking to the legislative leaders. You have to be 21 now to join HPD. When I came out of high school, some of my best friends immediately got in a cadet class after proper profiles and background checks. They were allowed. Chief Holland, Captain Holland, one of the best officers we've ever had. So we have to do something when they're coming out of high school to put them in some HPD program, because many of them are interested. They come out of the criminal justice high school, they go to the Army, they get a job, and we're losing a real opportunity for the young people that the chief's talking about. Let's grab them while they're fired up, give them a mentor, and let them get an HPD career started younger. Now the difficulty is why they can't go ahead and become an officer at 19 is you have to be 21 to carry a firearm. So that's being discussed with proper safeguards, training, background checks. We could probably pick up large numbers, certainly at the junior college level.
Absolutely.
but to follow up on the staffing question though, in your report on Wednesday, Chief Satterwhite, I mean, you were very open and honest that you still don't have enough officers to get to every single crime, and you really stressed both the property crimes here are gonna suffer. So Chief Diaz, you're inheriting this. Right. I mean, we've heard him say repeatedly he needs 2,000 more officers. His predecessor also stressed, I need 2,000 more officers. You're only going to get about 200 more in the next budget. you're walking into that, like, that's not, you don't set the budget. So how do you tackle that, knowing we have a department where if your car is broken into, if your home is broken into, you may not be able to have an HPD investigator look into it?
Well, that's the reality of being understaffed, right? So it's not anything difficult for the citizens to understand. When we don't have enough people turning out on a shift, when we're shorthanded, when we're lacking cars, that's the reality that this community has faced. It's not something that I think the mayor inherited all that. So we're trying to, we're gonna try everything. It's a no holds barred. We're gonna try to make sure that we're reaching out to the talented kids. Because of the university, they all have criminal justice programs. They need to come and visit with us first, and we need to take first crack. And that starts with the mayor and council with their determination to make sure that this police department is whole. Right? It's just that simple. We
In
have to make-
collaboration.
Please, we have to.
When I got there in January, and I didn't need to become mayor in January to know the shortage. I've worked with the employee groups and the rank and file for years. It's been known, it's just people were kicking the can down the road. So I came up with the vision and the practice. The first week, collaboration. Other departments will associate with us, give us research. During the freeze, not the freeze, certainly the freeze, but during the storm, we got 100 officers from around the state. So the sheriff's office, the constables, the suburban police departments are going to lend us a hand. They're doing it as we talk. DPS. Let me just tell you what, with the chief's contacts with DPS, we're going to get air cover. We're going to get research in the forensics. So it's a new day, but we do know we have challenges, and you're right. Chief Satterwhite documented it so well, going back 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be done if we, additional cadet class, collaboration, and overtime.
I just want to add one thing. There is a huge difference between somebody's home being broken into and somebody's car being broken into, okay? So there's that burglary of a habitation into somebody's domicile is very serious. And if there are workable leads, those are going to get prioritized, right? In that property and financial crimes division and everything. I want to make sure the public isn't thinking that my home is going to be burglarized and no one's going to come and no one's going to help or no one's going to look at that. That's not the case. And I say that even the other crimes are not being shelved as much as they may not get to them, but a car break into or sadly a bicycle stolen off of a lawn or something like that isn't going to have the same. And I'm just trying to be as honest as I can with the public that we are so severely understaffed, we are going to have to triage and prioritize violent crimes, and even I would suggest people's homes getting broken into. Those are much more serious, okay?
Chief, this is sort of a two-part question, but I mean, even if you got 2,000 more officers, policing's sort of a numbers game. You would have to prioritize things. I mean, what is your priority coming in as chief? And then relatedly, you'd mentioned technology. Sort of what are some of the promising pieces of technology out there that you think could help compensate?
Great question, Matthew. Larry just said it, right? So bridging the technology gap. We discussed earlier having a robust drone program to help and patrol remotely that work that's functional, that can give us good information, good leads, to make us a better, swifter, cleaner department where we're able to respond to those things. I'll share with you, I was up all night till 2 or 3 in the morning because the mayor said it. The police departments are working together when you're home. Be it Tomball, Katy, Pearland, it is a complete collaborative effort. Last night we rounded up people, like you say, committing car burglaries, right? When we have the staffing, when I can call DPS at the regional office and they send a 12-man team, so we saturate areas and we catch guys. The mayor also mentioned about people out on bond. And I'll share this story and I'll cut it short. 3 weeks ago, the United States Marshal's Office was in Katy, Texas, and they arrested a guy with their team, and they're a very effective team. The guy was pinned in the office, pinned in a hotel room. He was arrested. Last night, we arrested him again. He was out already, right? So you have all that resource, all the danger that the marshals went through, and then in 2 weeks, he's back in a hotel room doing the same stuff. So it is a work in progress. I look forward to the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. I know I'm so thankful again for the Houston Police Department, for the men and women that are doing it every night. For the guy in Clear Lake or girl in Clear Lake working night shift with Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. Right? That's my focus, the end user. That's who's important to me.
You ought to do a study sometime and report it. The thousands of police officers in Houston, Texas, not HPD, although you can start there with 5. Go to the Med Center, TSU, U of H, the Port, the hospital district. If we ever marshal and have leadership that will get them together, the sheriff's office. We're in Harris County as I stand and talk to you. Why does the sheriff's responsibility start at the Houston city limits? There's thousands, like 8,000 plus. If we just had the leadership to collaborate, it's never been done. Metro, 300 officers. I talked about merging with HPD. That got sidetracked during the suspended cases. We're still talking. I think it will happen. It gets a little complex because of benefits and retirement. But it's not like we're short overall in law enforcement. And criminals don't respect city limits. I talked last night with Sheriff Fagan, Fort Bend. Wanted to be here this morning to talk about the fine collaborations he's had with Chief Diaz when he was in the DPS and the Rangers. So people are excited. They understand Houston is understaffed, but they also understand we've got crime issues across the region. And they're excited about working with my administration. The morale of HPD is very high. The best recruiter historically has been a police officer that would get a brother, a nephew, or a son on the force. That's being revived, and I would suggest also the fire department. So there's just a lot of smart crime fighting that's fixing to take place.
Mayor Whitmire, did you seriously consider any internal candidates, including?
I know hundreds of police officers, senior police officers. I visited with them. I would accept and draft anyone that I thought was going to be the best crime fighter. This gentleman is the best crime fighter based on his experience, collaboration, and commitment to the job. So yes, I considered all possibilities.
Chief,
Yes.
how will your benefit, and Mayor, if you don't mind weighing in after this on the same question. But
Sure.
Chief, in speaking with law enforcement nationwide, and even at the highest levels in major cities, they've always conveyed the fact that having an investigative background is key when you have a top cop in a department, whether it's police commissioner in New York, police chief in LA. If they have that investigative background throughout their career, really working hard cases, considering that you have that background with the Texas Rangers, and they're known for paying attention to the fine details that they have to resolve their cases, and considering that unfortunately the department in some instances of late in recent years hasn't really been carefully attention to detail, how do you think that background will be beneficial in helping understand, convey that message to the rest of the department?
Well, I'm just very familiar in every discipline of the police business, be it the patrol division, which is our bread and butter, obviously. They're who I'm going to be judged through that lens, right? The rank and file. My responsibility is to make sure that they have the very best equipment, that they're the best trained and all that. So it's important for me because when something like the suspended file happens, I know the investigative process, every aspect of it. The fentanyl crisis is real in our community, right? So I know the narcotic division probably more so. I was actually housed on the 6th floor for many years at HPD when I was a narcotic agent, right? So I'm intimately involved with every process. Only thing I don't know how to do is fly a helicopter, but I'm gonna work on it. So it's just one of those things that I'm trying to always garner information, make sure that we're doing the right thing, and making sure that we are providing exceptional services, which is the vision that the mayor has, police services.
You want to translate?
Did you have another question?
Un mensaje para la comunidad que vive en Quirino, porque yo solamente vivo allá, si no se van a quedar sin un jefe de la policía. ¿Cuál es el mensaje principal para todos los ciudadanos de la comunidad?
Les agradezco la oportunidad. han sido leales, nobles, una comunidad unida. El alcalde Dusty Theo y el administrador, gente linda, gente trabajadora, que me han dicho a mí, si la ciudad de Houston no está segura, alrededor no está segura la comunidad. Se han portado lo mejor. Para mí es un poquito triste, ¿no? Pues es media década de mi vida ahí en la oficina esa. Para mí es algo un poquito triste, pero con
You want to give
bastante.
the English version?
Okay, she asked me what I felt about leaving Katy. It's bittersweet. Mayor Dusty Theo has been a phenomenal leader. The city administrator, Byron Hebert, just a very disciplined money guy that has the vision, that had the vision of letting me come in and modernizing. That police department lacks nothing. It is the most modern, and for a small community, it is a lot of the gold or the treasure that the community entrusts in the police. So for me, it is important that I bring that here. The budget is different, but to answer your question in English, I'm saddened, but at the same time, it has been my life honor to serve the people in Katy.
Do you really have,
¿Cómo se siente
Say
usted
Whitmire
como,
brought you here.
Yeah.
cómo se siente como un hispano en una posición de liderazgo en una ciudad que es la tercera más grande de todo Estados Unidos?
Okay. Para mí es un honor profundo. Para mí, para mi familia, para mis papás. Excuse me, my dad's not here, so, but no, para mí es un orgullo. Espero que nos tengan confianza, espero que nos ayuden como una comunidad a nosotros poder ayudarles a la comunidad, porque si no estamos trabajando mano a mano, no se hace ese trabajo sin la comunidad.
We got to go to work.
We'll wrap it up with that. Thank
Very
you,
quickly
guys.
on Chevron.